let me just share with you a story. You don't have to believe it. So a few years back, I had diagnosed recurrent depression and a lot of psychosomatic illnesses. Doctors couldn't treat, and they only recommend me medication and surgery option. Anyway, so during this time, I came across hypnosis and did a session. And in the session, I got into the session, and then immediately I saw myself as a man who was like dressed in this gray suit with like wool vest, and it's like light gray, like really like properly dressed. And then I had a wife, and this wife, like she has like really colorful personality. She's really outgoing. She laughs a lot, and I was more like this kind of introverted, like a more nerdy type of guy. And we have 2 kids, 2 girls, and like, and they're all dressed. They always like this giant dress. Like I can't even make it up. It's like so many laces, so many layers, especially when we need to go to church on Sundays. It's like the biggest thing in this small town because nothing going on except to just work and go to church and then hang out with neighbors and talk about church. So so we are having this peaceful life in this village. I don't know, it's England or America. I'm not so good with history. And then during this time, I have this grandma, and this grandma used to be very spiritual. The grandma, she was all into like crystals, like talking to spirits and all this stuff. And of course, like all the relatives and neighbors, they're all into church. So everything that she believed in was against church. So everyone was excluding her until she died, and nobody was picking up her stuff. So me and my wife actually went to her flat to pick up all the leftover stuff. And I found a stack of letters that she wrote to her friends, whoever it is, and never sent out. Anyway, I kept those letters in the closet and never really opened it up, and I feel like I was quite respectful to my grandma. And like then the life moves on, and there's one day we're about to go to church again. It's also Sunday. Like my wife was talking to the neighbors, so we were exchanging flowers and eggs and like giving gifts to each other. And suddenly my wife fainted. And then we canceled the whole plan, and I took her to the local doctor right away. And in the whole village is only one doctor, and they don't have the modern diagnostic equipment. There's no x-ray. Nobody could find out what she has. And then this doctor is saying that you have to go to the bigger town. You have to go to the city. Over there, you might find like doctors who can treat your wife. So we went into the big town, and still they couldn't find it. They couldn't find a solution. They couldn't explain. They say the only option would be like open her head up, but the risk is really high that she would die from it. And they expect something sounds like a brain tumor. Anyway, we didn't do that. My wife was slowly losing consciousness and becoming also paralyzed. Lying in bed most of the time, couldn't communicate. And I was desperate, and I had 2 kids to take care of. I had my work, and also like she was my emotional pillar. I could feel it. Like she was everything that could keep me alive. And I was a man, and I was, I was not so talkative. I didn't have these close friends or whatever. And then one day when I was taking care of her, like upstairs, we had like a two storage house, and then the first storage was, like the dining room, and there was like a fire place, and upstairs is a bedroom, and so everything's wooden. And I was upstairs taking care of her, and suddenly I thought of those letters that my grandma left when she died and didn't send out. And I don't know why, like it's like a sense of glowing light coming out of it, something that just attracted me to go there. So I went there and then brought up this stack of letters and opened up. And turns out it's all her letters to describing to her friends about her world. It's like her spiritual view. It's like what happens after people die, and how the multi-universe work, how time and space and destiny, all of this work, and how we can use spiritual power, quantum jumping or whatever to heal ourselves. So I felt this sense of hope. It's almost like if I follow this, something miraculous going to happen. It's like a sense of hope that I sensed. So I started reading those letters in front of my wife. I sat next to her and I start reading it. And in the beginning, nothing happens. I just keep reading. But those letters kept me hopeful. And I hope that she could feel my hopefulness. And so she can become hopeful. Although she's not responding, maybe she was conscious in some way. And one day I was reading those books and suddenly I saw her small finger moved like this, like tiny little bit. And I said, "Are you able to hear me?" And her finger moves again. And then say like, "Can you use this finger to communicate?" And her finger moved again. And I know that she is recovering through whatever I was doing. I become very, very hopeful. I become very, very motivated. And I start to read those books, read those letters even more diligently every single day and night to her. And then she just start to recover. And she's first start to move her hands. And then she started to move her toes, and then she started to become more and more conscious, could speak 1 or 2 words, and then she started to be able to sit up. I mean, at the end of our life, she was still on wheelchair, but she was able to communicate. She was able to eat with us. We had beautiful, quiet life together, and it was a happy life, and it was a life of miracle. Anyway, end of the story. You can call it past life regression, you can call it a spiritual trip, you can call it an imagination trip, whatever. But at the end of the session, I get connected with my higher self, almost like the part of me that is giving me this session, that is showing me all the pictures. And I say, "Why do you show this to me?" And this voice said, "Well, like, we want to tell you that you're supposed to chase behind the miracles. You can definitely do it. And if you did it before, you can do it again. It's in you. You can heal, and you can heal anything." So I ask a few more questions. So like, that this whole spiritual stuff, does it really exist and all of those. And then the voice said, "It doesn't matter, because focus on healing. And if you focus on healing yourself, you can use the ability, the knowledge to heal others. And that's what you're supposed to do on this earth. Focus on your mission, you'll be happy." Okay.